new here, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing this Sunset Boardwalk inspired makeup look. Now this is actually inspired by one of my favorite singers ever, and actually my first favorite singer, and that is Keith Urban. Dare I say he was my first love? I'm not even kidding. I was part of his OG fan club, which was called Monkeyville, and now it's just called The Ville, but I was part of Monkeyville back in the day, back in 7 years ago. It was stupendous, and I had a monthly subscription to Monkeyville. It was a good life. And it's actually kind of funny because the very first song I ever heard from him was the song that inspired this makeup look, and that is Till Summer Comes Around. And basically the song is about this guy who falls in love at a carnival on a boardwalk, and they just really hit it off, and then she has to leave after the summer, and he goes and works there and waits for her for 5 years, and she never returns. And it's quite sad actually, but it's a beautiful song nonetheless, and so I just decided that I wanted to do a makeup look in tribute to that, I guess. I don't know, I just got inspired and I saw this in my head, so I'm like, let's do it. Here it is in all of its glory, I guess. So anyways, if you guys are interested in recreating this body paint, or maybe you want to do something similar, or you just want to watch the beauty portion of this makeup look, then just keep watching. Hey guys, good to see you again. So we're going to be starting off with a fresh face and taking our Buckle Bunny Beauty Fringe Benefit Primer and applying this all over our face to fill in our pores, so that way our foundation will apply nicely and last longer throughout the day. We're then going to be taking our Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in medium neutral and applying this all over our face with our large Morphe E6 buffing brush. We're then going to be taking our Buckle Bunny Beauty Cream to Powder foundations in Caramel and Mocha and applying this to the areas that we would like to contour, and we're then going to be realizing that I did not turn on my backlight, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Don't mind me. We're then going to go ahead and blend out that cream contour before we move on to concealer. I personally like to use this concealer as a highlight, so I'm just taking my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in number 14 and applying that to all the areas that I would like to highlight before blending it out with my ColourPop F5 Small Fluffy Brush. Next, I'm going to be taking my Airspun Translucent Powder and just applying that all over the areas that I applied the concealer to let that bake. Next, we're going to be taking our Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Primer and applying that onto our lids to prep them for our eyeshadow. I'm going to start off by taking this highlight champagne color from our Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette and just applying that to my brow bone. Next, I'm going to be taking this yellowish orange color and I'm just going to be applying that into the crease to serve as a little bright transition shade. I'm also going to be taking this purpley pink color and I'm going to be applying that into the crease and creating a soft V on the outer corner of my eye and just repeating it on my other eye as well. You also want to make sure to blend as you go so you can avoid any harsh lines. We're going to be taking this yellow color from our Morphe 35B palette and applying that right on top of our pink. That is going to help blend it and transition into the brow bone color as well. We're then going to be taking this hot pink color and applying that right over top of our crease color just to help brighten it up a bit before we go into this magenta color. Now, I am absolutely in love with this color, so I just applied it in the outer corner and softly blended it towards the inner corner of the crease. I'm now going to take this royal blue eyeshadow and I'm going to be applying that into the crease as well, just to add a little bit more color dimension. And this is a cut crease, so I'm going to be taking my white ColourPop No Filter Concealer and just applying that into the inner corner of the eye and lightly blending it outwards before setting it with my white eyeshadow. And I'm just going to be repeating this on the other eye as well. Next, I'm taking the blue eyeshadow again and just popping that right over top to help blend it into the concealer before taking this purple and indigo color and applying that right over top as well. Next, I will be taking this yellow color and applying it to the inner corner of the eye to give that nice pop of color but also brighten the inner corner as well before taking this peach shade and applying that to the center of the lid. Now I'm taking this shimmery yellow color and applying it right over top of that yellow to, make it a little bit more bright. Then I'm going to be taking this light blue and applying it to the outer corner of the eye and then starting to blend that out because we don't want it to be too overpowering, but I definitely wanted to incorporate that color into this eye look. Next, I'm going to be taking this purple eyeshadow again and applying that to the outer corner in the crease, and then I'm also going to be going into this shimmery purple and I'm just going to be applying that to the center of the lid because this actually is more of like a shimmery pink. We're then going to be brushing away the excess translucent powder so we can move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to start off by taking the yellow, applying it to the inner lower lash line, and then I'm going to be going in with the peach to the center of the lower lash line and finishing it off with the purple in the outer corner of the lower lash line, making sure that these are nice and blended. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm going to be taking my NYX Epic Ink Liner and creating a nice bold wing on both of my lash lines. Next, I'm going to be going into contour, and I'm going to be taking my Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette, taking medium and dark cocoa, and just accentuating the contour from earlier and trying to deepen it before bronzing it. I'm going to be taking my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer for this and just applying that all over my face before adding a little bit more color and taking my Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Plum Rose and applying that right over top of the contour to kind of give it a little bit more life. For blush, I'm going to be taking my Buckle Bunny Beauty Honey Bunny Blush and just applying that to the apples of my cheeks. I'm going to be taking my NYX Faux White Eyeliner in Baby Powder and just applying that to the lower waterline to brighten that up a bit before I begin to prep my eyelashes by curling them and then go in with my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara and just sweeping that through my eyelashes. For my lips, I'm going to be taking my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Deep and just outlining my lips with that before taking my NYX Liquid Suede Lipstick in Bella and just applying that onto my lips. I'm going to give a nice spray to my face with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist before going into highlight, and I'm taking my BH Cosmetics Spotlight Highlight Palette, taking Glow and Dream and just applying that to the highlights of my cheekbones. For my false eyelashes, I'm taking my Kiss Lash Couture eyelashes in Brassiere and just applying that to my lash line. And now we are moving on to the body paint. I'm going to be taking my Mare on Paradise paint in orange to start out and just applying that over my chest. And something I always highly recommend to you guys is to always have reference photos. I was mostly looking at the one in the upper left-hand corner. That was my absolute favorite. That was the one I was referencing the most. And so that is definitely what I'm trying to mimic for the background of this image. Since our sunset is a gradient, we now need another color, so I'm going to be taking my Graftobian Pro Paint in Tickled Pink and just applying a little bit on my chest and making sure to blend that out. If you happen to have a hard time blending it out, just spray your chest with a little bit of water and it should be a little bit easier for you. Now I'm going to be taking my Graftobian Pro Paint in Shocking Pink and I'm going to be giving the illusion of clouds very lightly. Kind of the idea that clouds are having some light peek through them and so therefore it's kind of relaying the color of the sky, like, you know, cotton candy skies, you know, that kind of thing. We're also going to be taking our Mare on Paradise paint in white and lightening up the sky and also creating that gradient going further up our chest because we're also going to be connecting with blue, and so yellow and blue don't always look nice together when you're trying to blend them, so having that white in between definitely kind of balances everything out. I'm then going to be taking my Mare on Paradise paint in teal and lightly applying that right over top of the white and starting to bring it up my neck. I'm then going to be going back into my Mare on Paradise paint in white and I'm going to be applying a thicker coat right over top of the white from earlier because I found that it wasn't as pigmented as I wanted it to, so I'm just going to build up that color a little bit more before going back into my teal body paint and also building up the neck piece as well. Next, I'm going to be going into my Graftobian Pro Paint in Catalina Blue, and I'm going to be applying that up by my jawline and blending it down my neck so it blends into the teal body paint. We're also going to darken that up a little bit by taking our Graftobian Pro Paint in Wild Violet and applying that right over top by the jawline as well. Going back into our Graftobian Pro Paint in Shocking Pink, we're going to accentuate the color a little bit more because it did start to fade and I was just trying to kind of be careful in the beginning, and now we can really add as much color as we want to make this a very vibrant sunset. We also want to show a little bit of sun peeking through, so for this I'm going to be taking my Mare on Paradise paint in yellow and just randomly applying it onto my chest just so we can have a little bit of sunshine in this sunset. And this is probably my favorite part of the entire body paint. I'm going to be going into my Graftobian Pro Paint in Magenta and creating some purple clouds. This really helps make the sunset look more realistic because whenever you see clouds in a sunset, they're hardly ever white. They are usually reflecting the color that is in the sky. I'm also going to be making more clouds with my sponge by taking my Mare on Paradise paint in teal and also my Mare on Paradise paint in light blue and just lightly stippling this over my chest. I'm also going to be going back into my Marrow Paradise paint in yellow and accentuating the sun rays as well in the very center of my chest and forming those around my clouds. And probably my second favorite part of this body paint, I'm going to be taking my Marrow Paradise paint in red, and I'm also going to be adding a few little sun rays and trying to bring out a little bit more color, and I feel like this looks absolutely gorgeous mixed with the teal and the magenta and the yellow. I'm going to be going back into my Graftobian Pro Paint in Catalina Blue and accentuating and darkening up the upper part of the neck piece, and also adding a little bit of my black Marrow Paradise paint as well to darken it even more and really give that nice gradient into the night sky. I'm also going to be taking a few of my bright body paints and my Lemonhead Crystal Tokyo Space Jam and taking my little chip brush and splattering that on to the upper portion of the neck just so we can kind of give the illusion of stars. And now for the abstract portion of this, I'm going to be creating the silhouette of the Carnival Boardwalk. So for this, I'm taking my Marrow Paradise paint in black, creating a straight line to separate the sunset from the boardwalk. I'm then going to be taking a smaller detail brush, creating the Ferris wheel, which is basically just a little triangle with a circle, another circle, and some lines going out to connect to the outer ring of the Ferris wheel. And then you're just going to be creating a few little seats hanging off of the Ferris wheel itself. Then we're also going to be making a few other little carnival areas, such as a little merry-go-round in the very center of my chest, and for that I'm just creating the tiny tent, bringing down the little pieces of the tent and also creating the bars around, and then giving very, very, very tiny details to kind of give the illusion of the horses on the merry-go-round. I'm also going to be creating a little roller coaster, so I'm just creating some fun little loop-de-loops that can help represent a roller coaster, and also making a coaster on the tracks with little people raising their hands. And on the opposite side of my chest, I saw that there's some empty space, so I just decided to make a little tent with a flag on it. This could be a concession tent, this could be a ticket booth, it could be honestly anything. And last but not least, I did this portion off camera, but I'm just taking my NYX Gold Liquid Eyeliner and just applying that on to the yellow part of my eyelid. And that is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what we'd like to see next. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos, especially since I'm going to be uploading a new Halloween makeup tutorial every weekday for the month of October, and a special little fun video every Saturday for the month of October. So make sure you have your notifications on, and with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!